So Quillette put out a review of my book by Adam Wakeling, which was actually a pretty good review. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised because I say some pretty mean things about Quillette in the book, but the person they assigned to review it at least has I guess didn't mind that. And so, it was a pretty nice review. I mean, you can tell at a few places. So Quillette is kind of like, it's like IDW-ish. It's not crazy right wing, but it's like sort of like
no, they were set up to be like not necessarily the IDW voice, but to be like the like undermined and like under whatever, like victimized voice of academia or whatever they consider it.
Yeah. I mean, basically, most of what's in Quillette is like culture war stuff from kind of a center-right libertarian-ish kind of perspective. Like, there's lots of sort of look at these crazy SJWs on college campuses kind of material.
Yeah.
They've also, that's like the dominant editorial line of Quillette. They have also published things by leftists a few times. They published a couple, actually, I think several things a couple of years ago by my friend and frequent GTA guest Matt McManus, and they also published a couple things that I wrote back then. One of the things that I wrote was an article about the Peterson-Zizek debate in 2019. And it was written in this way that was like sort of very careful, like very narrow, because I wanted Quillette to publish this, and I knew they wouldn't if I didn't like make it like a really narrow argument, right? So like the argument of the piece was basically I was just a piece about how Jordan Peterson was exposing at this debate that he didn't know anything about Marx. And so the title of the article is Marx Deserves Better Critics. And the argument of the article is like, look, whether you're somebody who likes Marx like me or you're somebody who doesn't like Marx, we're going to have a way more interesting debate about this stuff if we have somebody in it who, on the anti-Marxist side, who knows more than Peterson does.
Or at least has read more than just the Communist Manifesto before showing up. And
yeah, exactly.
Showing up benzoed out with a bunch of money in their pocket from the debate ticket, the scalping or whatever. And
yeah. So and I talk about this, like I talk about this article in the book, at the bonus essay at the end of the book. And one of the things I say there is that one of the reasons I wrote it, I pitched this article to Quillette and not a magazine more ideologically congenial to me, is that I wanted it to. That is a very good question, Brent. I wanted it to. And yeah, glad to see you were watching that debate just now. But we are going to get back to the debate and do post-game analysis in just a minute. But I do want to finish this thing about Peterson because this is very funny to me. So, what I say in the book, in that bonus essay at the end of the book, is that one of the reasons I pitched to Quillette, not to a magazine that's more politically in my corner, is sure I wanted to reach people who wouldn't read it in Jacobin. But also, I did admit that I had like a really petty reason for putting in Quillette, which is that Jordan Peterson tweets out Quillette articles all the time.
Yeah, the entire IDW did for a little while until Dave Rubin got really butthurt. They lightly criticized him in an op-ed piece.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I was hoping that Peterson would read the article and it would piss him off. So that was my petty reason for putting it there. So he didn't read it, or if he did read it, he kept it to himself. But fast forward to a couple days ago, Quillette puts out this review by Adam Wakeling of my book, and it's a good review. Like there are like a few things that he says here and there that are like tells that he's like his politics are very unlike my politics. I don't think Adam Wakeling's a leftist, but he gets what I was trying to do in the book. It's a very positive review. And it has actually some really good lines in it. Like I really like the thing about how let me see if I can find this real quick. Yeah, that how like the sort of pathologies of the left that I'm critiquing in the book are things that really benefit the right, because it gives them talking points. And so he did have this line in here that I enjoyed. He says, it's telling that CPAC 2021 adopted the slogan, America uncanceled, rather than say against universal health care or don't increase the minimum wage.
Yeah.
So, I like that. But in any case, so then tonight I saw, I guess he actually tweeted this yesterday, but it wasn't brought to my attention until today. I saw this tweet, which is awesome. So let me just pull this up. So this is Dr. Jordan B. Peterson tweeted out the review of my book, and he says, only the best of the left can save us from the worst of the left, and the clock keeps ticking. Which then, so then, of course, not going to let that opportunity go to waste. I tweeted, guessing he hasn't read the book being reviewed. See the screenshots, and I included the screenshots of all the shit that I say about him in the book. But I appreciate the kind words. For the record, happy to debate at Jordan B. Peterson anytime or place on any issue related to the ones I raised about him in the book. I mean, why not debate the best of the left? So, put it out there.
He's gonna show up and be like, listen, I didn't read your book. There's just too many pages, but I reread the Communist Manifesto again last night, and I'm jacked up and I'm ready to debate you.
Anyway, this really, to understand why I found this so funny, you have to get that, literally since I started doing public-facing political work in 2018, more than one article in Counterpunch every 6 months or something, like I've been doing for a couple of years before that. But since I started doing what I'm doing, a huge part of it has been dunking on Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
I literally met Michael Brooks at a conference that Doug Lane helped organize about Jordan Peterson, the conference in lieu of a debate. I did a bunch of videos for Zero Books, like Debunking Peterson. The first time I was on TMBS in studio, one of the segments, which I did see that somebody helpfully linked to Peterson in the replies to his tweet. It was called Jordan Peterson Could Red Bait, but Can He Reason? Anyway, I guess I don't want to be too repetitive, but it made me laugh that Peterson, true to form, did not bother Googling me. And he read this review of my book, or he at least did enough of it to get an idea, and he tweeted it out. So please, I don't normally I don't encourage Twitter pile-ons, but in this particular case, I'm going to make an exception and say, please, 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 if you're watching this, tweet at Dr. Peterson to ask him, since he has described me as the best of the left, why he won't debate me.
Just turn it into a thing until it happens. No, I don't know. He never will, but
no, he won't. Yeah, he absolutely will not.
I mean, it was interesting that he chose to debate G-Jack, and I think it's obviously the amount of positive feedback that he got, and the dollar signs popping up in his eyes when it comes to ticket sales and stuff. But
which by the way, in those screenshots that I included in that tweet, that includes me suggesting exactly that, because I said, let me find the line from the book okay, actually, here, let me just do a quick screen share of the part of the book where I say this. I say, here we go, canceling comedians. So here we go. I'm pretty sure that's why he turned down an earlier invitation to debate Richard Wolff. Peterson's response to that invitation, immortalized on YouTube, was to rant and rave about Stalinism, even though Wolff's radically democratic vision of a post-capitalist society is poles apart from the one-party authoritarianism of the old Soviet Union, and to suggest that, one, advocating any form of Marxism was morally on par with defending Hitler's, quote, national and socialism, unquote, and that, two, such a position was so far outside the boundaries of acceptable discourse that he didn't want to legitimize Wolff by debating him. What makes all of this particularly odd is that Zizek is noticeably less passionate than Wolf is about the importance of democracy. In a thought-provoking lecture entitled A Plea for Bureaucratic Socialism, Zizek points out that if we brought everything under participatory democratic control, we'd have to waste much of our lives in meetings about things like the management of water and electric services that most of us would rather not have to think about at all. He's no more a Stalinist than Wolf is. In fact, he was a democratic dissident in the Communist Party of Slovenia in the 1980s. But where Wolf is a happy warrior for socialism, Zizek is the kind of intellectual who's most comfortable when he's excavating the connections between ideas through layers of irony and ambiguity. So, if the association between Marxism and gulags was too strong for Peterson to be willing to debate Wolf, why did he want to debate Zizek? Part of the answer may be financial. Peterson knew that Zizek was a bigger name and a bigger draw than Wolf. Toronto scalpers were reportedly charging more for tickets to the Zizek-Peterson debate than they did for Maple Leafs tickets, and people around the world paid to see the live stream. While Zizek donated his half of the proceeds to a charity for Indigenous Canadians, Peterson pocketed his. So,
I still remember when that debate was going on, like really easily. You could just find someone else that was like streaming the stream onto like a free video or whatever, and it was like people were paying a lot of money to like stream it, because there were people that were obviously paying money to be there, and I get that, but like there were also, people were paying money to like watch it in real time, but like they also had it on so many channels streaming in real time for free.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I believe that true to form, Peterson did not take a look at my book before he tweeted about it, but I'm not holding my breath for it to happen, but I still want everybody to tweet at Peterson and ask him why he's not willing to debate what he's just called the best of the left. So just because it would be, let's put it this way. I don't think that Peterson's going to do it, but how hilarious and awesome would it be if it got to the point where it was like the Dave Rubin, Sam Cedar thing, where it was just
completely, yeah. or like the Sam Cedar, Steven Crowder thing, where
where like even Jesse Lee Peterson and what's his name?
Props to Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson doesn't shy from debating people who are much more like intellectually curious than he is. I'll say, like, you know what I mean, like he'll debate. I don't know. Jesse Lee Peterson's one of the few people that, I respect the fact that he'll have literally anybody on his show and then kind of just pile on the most inane, weird fucking nonsense of like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, I feel like everybody else on the right that I can think of runs away from anybody that they think would be a real challenge. And, maybe it's the fact that everybody, like every debate for Jesse Lee Peterson is a real challenge, but I don't know.
Yeah, not the way he does it, but yeah, like, I did, I actually did get the Jesse Lee's producer actually did reach out to me a little while back and be like, hey, you want to come back on? And I think,
it was probably great for views for them. Like, I don't think people are like organically watching that show.
Yeah, I don't know who watches it. I don't really have it. I don't feel like I have a good sense of what the average Jesse Lee Peterson viewer is like. But I think that, I don't know, maybe he'll do it. But I'm kind of inclined to just let that, like, as funny as it was the one time that I was on before, and that's like going to be something that's going to be following me around till I die. I don't know. Just like that was just such like as theater, that was so funny. But I don't know that I don't really know that anybody would get much out of it happening again at this point, and especially I don't really want to do it for a like if the book that had just come out was about a different subject, I might do it. But since I'm writing a book critiquing the left, I don't want to be talking about that book on Jesse Lee Peterson. If I go back on Jesse Lee Peterson, I want that to be while I'm talking about something where I'm not being like, yeah, no, we're really screwing up on my side. Here's how we need to do better. I want that to be for something where like I can just yell back, joyfully.
Yeah. he'll probably like he'll probably be like reach out to you and then be like, hey, you want to discuss like critical race theory? And like
I do not know.
No, like I don't know. I can't imagine like Jesse Lee Peterson inviting
Don't
him to talk about
these critical race theory people are beta males, Ben. Yeah,
he's like the perfect like any race-based or class-based like program is racist. Like he's the perfect like person to make like the reverse racism argument, I feel like. And I feel like that's why conservatives always have like, I don't know, they very publicly like tokenize certain people in their midst. And there's a certain like bootstraps mentality that Jesse Lee Peterson has that I understand exactly why. If you were a conservative, you'd be like, yeah, like I get it, like, you know what I mean? Like I like, at least with him I can understand. Like there's some people on the right that are just like, I don't know, it confuses me why they're watched. I get like why like a 70-year-old that like wants to deny that, I don't know, wants to deny that like any poor people deserve to be helped out at all by any government program, would watch Jesse Lee Peterson just get like a dose of that and be like, oh, what I think isn't racist and what I think isn't classist, like I'm doing okay. Like
yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, he's got like, I don't know how many people actually watch each individual video, but like even like a couple of years ago when I went on debated him, Jesse Lee Peterson did have like a crazy YouTube subscriber count. That was like 250,000 people or something.
It doesn't surprise me. I feel like there's a lot of I know a lot of older people that like talk and think like just like not like in a similar way. Like they kind of share the same like right wing like boomer memes. Like he kind of is a walking right wing boomer meme. Like
no. I mean, yeah, my my like, not certainly. I'm sure I'm not the first or 50th or 10,000th person to make this analogy, but he always, like Peterson, Jesse Lee Peterson always just reminds me like powerfully of Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. In any case,
I'm gonna pull up super chats now.
Thank you so much, Yoda, for the super chat. Yes, goal is JP on the pod. Topic lobster human like, yeah. If Jordan Peterson wants to come on the pod and argue with me about lobsters and humans and what we can learn about lobsters and whether capitalism is justified, I am 1,000% there for it. If he doesn't want to come on the pod, if he wants me to come to Toronto for me to debate him and have like some IDW hack to moderate it, I'll still do that. Like I've devoted so much of my life to trying to debunk Peterson's argument that I think there's pretty much no circumstances under which I would turn down any version of that debate.